All right, today I got a challenge in the mail by a subscriber, Mike Mason. He was having some trouble with glass snapping. So, let's see. Okay. Yeah, I got a ton of flakes, but I want to use my knife to open this up. I can use a flake to cut the tape. Yes, I know. I know that. All right, so we got glass snapping challenge. It's curved, so when that happens, you're going to lose some length. There's no avoiding it. You just lose length on it. That's the first step. This looks like bottle bottoms. Yeah. Fully flaked, both sides, but with a curve. How do you get the curve out? Well, you got to lose length. But no, that's exactly what I'm not wanting to lose, you might say. That's exactly the no. No, 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 no. No loss of length and take out the curve. Yeah. Well, in this case, you can't avoid it. You have to lose length. If there was more meat in there on this side, you could thin the other side and take out the curve, right? But if there's more meat in here, it'd be flat. But there's no flat spots. You have to preserve where it's flat. That's your only choice. Now, it depends on what you're making. You can have a curved you can have a curved tool as long as it's a knife or something. If you want to shoot it, if it's going to be a projectile, it's got to be straight, or it's going to have problems penetrating, or it'll break too soon. It won't have a problem. It'll just break too soon. You may not want it to break right away. You may want it to break right away. I don't know. You can haft a curved point. It's not as effective as a straight one. And you can shoot a curved point. Like I said, it's just not as effective as a straight one. Anyways, how do you get the curves out? This will be the easiest because it still has some meat in it. And it's not all that curved, which is the hardest one. This one here. This one's got the most curve in it. How do you take it out from the beginning? Yeah, that's the thing. Take it out from the beginning. That's the easiest way. But if you're napping these curved bottle bottoms, you're gonna have to make short points if you want them to be nice and straight. That's the way to do it. Yeah, unless the bottle bottom is really thick, then you can make them longer. All right. So when am I gonna start napping? Stop yapping and start napping. Everything has to have a little beginning, an introduction, because that's what the challenge is. I had to explain things. I'm looking at this, and what am I saying to myself? I gotta lose length on these, and some width for sure. You don't want to nap across there with that much width. No, you get it down to as close as possible to the finished point. And yeah, the new guys don't know what close as possible means, so just get it a little more narrow than this. So you don't have to run the flakes as far. And you figure out how long it needs to be. Can you see the point now in that? If you can, then you can stop trimming length. Now I trimmed off a whole section on that by accident, but the accident I think will still work. I mean, it'll still work even with the accident. Yeah. So I was making it more narrow, Oh yeah, I want to get rid of a lot of this here on this side. Yeah, you don't want to have a whole lot of width. Just making it harder on yourself to run flakes. Now, I try to preserve width, yes, but that's different because there's a different goal. Right now, the goal is to get the curve out, right? The next goal is to flake across it in an easy way, the easiest way you can, because you don't want a bunch of step fractures, so you make it more narrow. Now, I tend to preserve width just so I can show how to maximize. Okay, but if you want, because okay, let me back up. I want to show how to maximize for those who are able to maximize. New guys who, if you can't get the curve out, you're not going to be able to maximize. So that strategy is not for you yet. Okay? I like to show how to maximize because a lot of guys are past the stage of taking the curve out. They want to know how to maximize the area. So I show how to maximize it. And one of the cornerstones of maximizing is not losing width. Of course, not losing length, but not losing width is another aspect. Okay? That's why I tend to preserve width, because I'm maximizing. Now, with this, there is some maximizing going on, of course, but you got to work within the limits of the material. If it's curved, you need to find where you can actually see a point. You need to reduce it down to where you can actually see a straight point in there. Still not straight enough. I got to take some off the tip here. I could take some off the base, but it's much easier to work with the tip. Okay, so we're going to work the easy way. Okay? Easy. When I'm doing a challenge, I try to do the easy way if I can. Now, if the challenge is hard material the hard way, then you got to let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to do the hard material the easy way. Why would you voluntarily do it the hard way? I don't know. Maybe some people don't understand what the hard way is. They just want to see what do you mean the hard way? What is it? Maybe I'm doing it. I don't even know I'm doing it. Okay, that's why I show it. One of the reasons I can think of to show the hard way is because people just want to know, what does that mean? So I show it. And then some people go, oh, okay, yeah. I only do that if I have to. Yeah, you only do the hard way if you have to. When do you have to? When it gets really challenging. Yeah. I still have a curve in it, but it's getting straighter. I got to be careful about how much length I remove. I try to minimize the amount of length removed. See, you don't want to do this kind of stuff. See the thinning of the base on this upper part here, because it removes material where you need it. You need it on this side. You don't need the material here where the curve, where it's concave, the concave part of the curve. See, if I had more meat up on top, I could shave off material from the bottom and straighten it out. But since you took off some of this, it makes it even more curved. Yeah, more curved than it should have been. Okay, so you save this for last, the convex part, because it's the easy part. You do this one first and make sure it's straight, and then you can do the convex. So you reduce the length until you get something fairly straight. And you got to make sure you don't nap the convex part until the very end. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get rid of the obstacle. The obstacle is the concave area. That's the hard place to nap. You want to get rid of that first. You want to get rid of the worst first. The worst aspect of this is the concave area. It's hard to nap through there. Why is it hard? Because flakes don't like to travel on a concavity. They just dive right in. They don't skim over the top. All right, time for the black glove. See if that helps. The blue glass actually shows up pretty good, I think. Maybe, maybe not. I think it shows up pretty good. So let's recap here. If you have a curve, you got to take away length. You don't want to nap the convex side first. Although, you know, I am napping some of the convex side on, but only on the edge. Okay. I did run a couple flakes because it was way too thick. But that's it. Minimal napping on the convex side. And then finish out the concave side. I've done bottle bottoms before on video, so you can look at those. I hope I have the same strategy on each one, you know. I try to make it narrow. Take out the curve early. Make sure there's enough meat on the convex side. And once you have the concave side flattened, then you can flake the convex side and finish up. Yeah. Why narrow? Because it's hard to run flakes on this stuff. It's concave. So the more narrow it is, the easier it is to run flakes. I'm going to try some pressure flakes. Yeah, that's not enough. Not enough for braiding here. So let's see. I forgot to measure to see what I started with. Yeah. I either forgot or I don't want to do it. Sometimes I just don't want to do it. It doesn't matter because the point is you've got to take the curve out early. Early. Don't be flaking everything and then take the curve out. Take the curve out early. Yeah. I can tell this glass is tempered slightly. Yeah. You know, bottle glass. It's not like Obsidian. Yeah, it already got me. See that? Alrighty, right through the glove. And I bet you there's going to be a spot right there. It didn't get me that bad. But you know how it goes. It gets distracting. Alright, anyways. So I'm just kind of working on the edge getting the feel for the material. And also running a few flakes while I get it more narrow. See, I don't want to make it narrow just with a braiding, because I miss opportunities for good flakes. That's the theory, anyway. Yeah. So normally what I do is I don't have any or barely any flaking on this side when I start. It's all usually on this side if I'm doing it right. Okay, all right. I think you got it. But I got to do both sides because it's a little bit wonky. I need to see where I'm at. It's going to be difficult to remove these. There'll be some remnants unless I get it super duper thin, which I don't want to, because it increases the difficulty level. I want to have it be easy for you. You can always do the hard stuff later. You know, the super thin stuff. You can do that later. Focus on just getting the curve out and getting it flaked on both sides. Nicely flaked. Yeah, nicely. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect, but the closer you can get it to straight, the better. Yeah. All right, so what am I going to do? I'm looking at the obstacles on the surface. I got most of the curve out. I'm looking at the obstacles now on the surface. What do I got to remove? And how am I going to do it? Well, I got to set up, you know, I move the edge this way. Now I got to move it back this way. You know, and as I move it back and forth from side to side, it reduces the width. Okay, so I still need to reduce width in order to make it easier to flake across. Yeah. It's not going to be that hard to nap. It is tempered glass, but it's not bad. I like bottled glass of the dark colors seems to work better than the clear as far as the tempering goes. Everything is always tempered to prevent breakage, but some glass is just nasty, like clear glass. I don't know why. Not all of it's like that, but chances are, with my luck, I end up with clear glass that's highly tempered, and it just fractures in weird ways. Okay. This is snapping well, even though it might not look like it right now, because there's a lot of little defects. Yeah. A lot of little defects, which makes it challenging. That's why it's a challenge. Yeah. Do I need a dark pad too? I don't know. Probably. But I need to be able to see the edge. I want a contrast. There's two ways to get contrast. Two different colors, and also the shadow. This shadow that the light creates, the shop light, helps me to see the edge. And if you still can't see, you can zoom in. You can touch the screen and zoom in like that. Expand your fingers and it'll zoom in the video. And as long as my focus as long as the camera is focusing well, you should be able to zoom in and see it. see what I'm doing if you don't know what I'm doing. Or if you want to know exactly the placement of the tip onto the glass, and just touch the screen and zoom it in. Okay? Alright. You already knew that? I know you already knew that, but there's always one in the back going, I didn't know that. I didn't. Dang it. Why didn't I know that? Now you know. Okay? No need to be suffering anymore. Alright, so in the process of reducing the width, I'm learning the feel of the material. It's not that easy. It's very crunchy. I might have less crunchiness if I used copper pressure flaker. Yeah. So keep in mind that copper is usually the best material of all. I just don't use it that much because I want to explore other materials. Okay? All right. Yeah. I shouldn't have to explain myself the whole time. But I do, just because people don't know. There's a lot of guys out there that just tuning in just now, brand new. All right, so I think I'm getting to the point where I can run some good flakes on this side. This side, the concave side. All right, I'm narrow enough that I think I can start to create some convexity just by napping away the edges. It starts to dome it. That's what convexity means. It means it's domed. Okay, just you gotta dome it. It's not quite there yet. Yeah. Take your short flakes off the sides. It'll begin to start doming. Yeah. What you want is a dome, a convexity. That way the flakes will run. They will sprint. They do the 100-yard dash across the point in record time, so to speak. Right? Not a good analogy. I know. And I don't care because very few analogies are really good. Anyways, there's always something wrong with every analogy. Always. I have allergies to analogies. Yeah, me too. Yeah. I'm allergic to analogies. All right. See, it's starting to become domed. Still got a scoop out right there. You know how difficult scoop outs are to get rid of. But it's starting to get domed. Yeah. Okay, that's the whole goal. The whole goal is to make it domed on that difficult side. It's already domed here near the tip. See that? We want to try to get that effect all the way down if possible. If not, then we just live with what we get. Okay? You can't make it perfect all the time. It is much easier to dome it or to create that convexity if it's narrow. Okay, that's why I said narrow in the beginning. Make it more narrow. Don't be doing it wide because you can't create that dome with the wideness. Yeah. Well, you can. The experts out there, they know how to do it. It's extremely subtle. It's almost flat. Yeah. The wider it is, the flatter it has to be. Or the flatter it ends up being. Because that's just the way it goes. It's just physics. And you can run flakes on a flat surface, yeah. But it's very subtle. You gotta have a fine-tuned skill to run flakes on a flat surface. Because they'll step fracture really easy. You flake over grind guys that you know that a flat slab will step fracture really easy. And that's exactly what you don't want to be easy. Yeah, you want easy Flintknapping, but you don't want it to be easily steppy. Okay? Yeah. All right. Just in case you don't know. I know it's not, the information is not always relevant, okay? Captain Obvious strikes again. Now, the concave base is easiest when you want to create a domed effect, so especially in the middle. So I'm going to make this a concave based arrowhead. Yeah. Why? Because it's easier. Easier to get it nice and thin. Yeah, because you got more opportunities to thin it if you're close to the center with the concavity of the base. Yeah. You might say, you didn't grind it. I don't need to at this stage. I'm just doing the rough shaping. But I always mess up the rough shaping. I need to grind it every single time, 100%. Okay, if you need to do it, do it. But I want to do it exactly like you're doing. Why? There's no reason to do it exactly like somebody else. Not when you can do it with less stress the way you want to do it, if that's the case. Sometimes you say, my way is too much stress. I don't want to do it my way. All right, fine. All right, then try this way. All right, so I'm going to, now that I'm closer to this stuff, I'm going to flake into there. And hopefully I'll get rid of it. All right, it's a hope, because I don't know what's going to happen. I'm hoping that it'll work. It's already crunching, so I didn't grind it well enough. Or there's an incipient, or a group of incipients living in there. You know, fractures that just started, or that they're in there to begin with, and they're messing everything up. Yeah, they wreak havoc. Because they're in there, they're not complete, they're just cracks sitting there waiting to expand into areas where you don't want them to. Or causing crushing. They're like saboteurs. I call them incipients, and they remind me of aliens, right? The word incipient reminds me of some sort of alien life form, like a little robotic life form. They just infest things to bug you. would an alien have an interest in just bugging and nothing else? Don't aliens want to do research? Just look at everyone on the internet. What do they do? Are they doing research? Yeah, they're trying to research what is underneath everyone's clothes. That kind of thing. That's not research. And they want to bug each other. It's Fight Club. So, just look at that. Once they discover Earth and figure out all the biology, what is there left to do but to goof around? Yeah. And mess things up. See how you react. And giggle. They land in there. They're microscopic. They're little bitty. You can't see them. They're on a molecular level and they mess you up and they giggle. Messed them up. Yeah, I got quite an imagination, huh? All right. Yeah, I think of stuff while I'm napping so I don't have to be thinking about the napping entirely. Yep. So, what is this stage? I'm looking at it and I have a pause now because this is a preform. It's already heading toward the shape of the final point. I got it to where it's nappable on both sides now. I can start running flakes across and hopefully get them past halfway. At least halfway. I think I can get flakes at least halfway across now on this difficult side. Right? There's a little bit of a lump there, so that's going to be a little bit of a challenge, but I'm going to start doing it. Now, the question is, do I want to do it with pressure or percussion? I don't know. I'm going to start with percussion. Like always. Yeah, I forgot to grind these down before the video. Yeah, I can drop it down on there. This is just a towel. There's a towel and just little flakes. There's no danger of snapping this. I can measure it now just so you know if it's good for hunting. Some of you guys going, well, is it good for hunting? I've been waiting all this time to see if it's still good. Yeah, okay. It's almost 7/8, okay? The game warden might not measure it. If you need 7/8, it's not going to make it. By inching 5/8. Plenty, I think, for a hunting point. As long as you don't lose, as long as I don't lose too much of the width. If you need 7/8 or whatever, a lot of states require 7/8, or they used to on the broadheads in the width for deer. Now you can shoot other game with anything you want if there's no regulation on the broadhead size. Yeah, there are things you can shoot out there and go hunting for, like coyotes. They don't care what you do with those. No. Rabbits, they don't care what you do with the rabbit. But deer, yeah, there's a lot of regulations around deer hunting. Ouch. I hit that really hard. Didn't do anything. Is that what it's gonna do? No. Okay. It will cooperate. All right. I just wanted to make sure. It's tough because it's high grade glass. Yeah, it's gonna cooperate. Okay. That's what I wanted to know. All right, so let's see. Let's see what I can do. I am going to run some flakes on the easy side. Hold on. Just to clean it up. Yikes. I think I abraded it too much. Yeah. The flaker is bouncing off the edge. It's high grade glass, right? So it can stand a lot of shock. So I'm having to hit it really hard. But it's okay. Yeah. It just gets a little frustrating when you hit it and nothing happens. It's not like Obsidian. Most Obsidian, you hit it and something happens. It doesn't always eat the tool for lunch. Yeah, okay. So this is pretty well cleaned up. I don't have to worry about that side. Okay. And the strategy is I'm going to make it a little bit more narrow now by moving the edge this way again. I've already started moving the edge toward this side again, toward the concave side. I'm already moving the edge that way again by taking flakes off of this easy side. Okay, that's what I'm doing. Still needs to be a little more narrow so I can make this side look like this side. Okay, okay. I'm going to say okay quite a bit. Because I don't want no arguments. Yeah, I don't want no back talk. We used to call it back talk. Guys with headphones on, this is really annoying noise. I know. What if I do it down here? Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's see what we can do. Yeah, moving the edge now toward the bad side, the concave side, the bad side. Just simple little flakes. This time. Not even looking on the other side. Yeah, I'll just crunch a bunch if I need to. Doesn't matter. Can you see? No? Good. You don't need to see anyway. You don't need to stinking see it. I am taking this opportunity to run some nice little flakes, if I can, on the good side. It's not necessary. I can do this a little bit later. Maybe I should do it a little bit later because I'm taking too many bites out of the edge. One too many. One is too many. I took a little bite right there. Yeah. All right, and I finished moving it toward the bad side with the Abrader. Yeah. Here we go. Shaving this way, shaving them off this way. That way it moves the edge that way a little bit. And then I abrade the whole edge. So I don't have to waste time going back and forth, abrading each little spot. I abrade the whole edge. Yeah. Now we're in a good position. I think it's more narrow. It's more domed than before. Still not perfect, but I don't want to get it any more narrow than that because of the hunting possibilities. The edge is moved toward the bad side. Now I think we're cooking with gas. Yeah. Here we go. We're going to start doing some nice flakes. That's the theory anyway. Yes, we want those kind of flakes. You see it? If I look away, it gets blurry. If I look at it, it goes back into focus. So that flake went there. Yeah, I need to go to the middle if I can without crunching it. Yeah, it's not going to do it. I might need to go to percussion. Yeah. My pressure flaking skills are not that great. It's so subtle and so annoying. It just annoys me to get into position where I do a perfect pressure flake. Yeah. I don't like the fact that it's so darn picky. Yeah, my battery power is getting low. I didn't charge my phone before this. All right, are we making some progress? Maybe. Yeah, we're inching into there, but it's still kind of steppy. We're getting closer, but it's still kind of steppy. Yeah, slippery. Come on. Come on, Crunchy. I know you can do it. I took too much. Yeah. Dang it. It messes it all up. You take a little bit too much and it'll mess up the curve. Well, it'll make it curved and mess it up. All right, let me fix this here. Hold on. I forgot to move this toward there too. This to there. Use the vocabulary, dude. Use the vocabulary. Okay, fine. I didn't move the edge of the base toward the bad side like I was supposed to. I'm going to try some percussion work. Yeah. Let's see. Battery power. I won't be able to do too many more minutes on that battery power, so I'm going to hope to wrap it up here in a minute. Now, it's really flat on the bad side. This percussion is going to probably make it a little more curved again, but I got to do it. I hate to do it, but it's what? Law of the West. Because I got to get rid of this crunchiness in there, because that's part of doing the cosmetic work. Yeah. The appearance. Yeah. Okay, you don't like me talking about cosmetic work in Flintknapping because it's a masculine thing. All right. I won't call it cosmetic work. All right, here we go. Critical hit there. Critical hit. I needed a critical hit. Did I roll a 20? Yeah. Almost. What is that roll a 20? It's from role-playing games. 20-sided dice. I'm trying to roll 20s here on this bad side. I need to defeat this challenge. I need good dice rolls because it's dicey. It's a game of chance. This Flintknapping stuff. Yes, it is. Of course, I control the dice somewhat. The more I nap, the more I learn that I can manipulate certain initial conditions to make this flaking more successful. Yeah. And I can try to aim for certain things. Aim for certain results. Yeah, some of these strikes, I don't know what's going to happen. Doesn't look too bad. All right, doesn't look too bad. I got most of that out. There's still some remnants of that spot that was really bad earlier. I can probably get that out with the notching. I'll finish it up on the next segment because I got to charge my phone. I got most of the difficult parts out, so it's 90% done as far as difficulty and the challenge. All right, it's pretty straight. You guys remember the dimensions from earlier? It lost a little bit of width. Yeah, it's not quite. I lost like a 32nd of an inch width across the barbs. Like it's now a 16th of an inch shorter than 7/8. It was like a 32nd of an inch shorter. But anyways, it's hard to tell now which was a bad side. Right, this was the bad side here. And this was the good side or the convex side to begin with. The easy side to nap. That's kind of a no-brainer on that side. But this side is the hard side. So they look pretty much the same. So this is 90% there already. I just gotta sharpen it and put the notches in. I'll do that on the next segment. Okay? So challenge on that one. That was the longest one. If I wanted to make a set of these, I should have started with the smallest one and make them all the same size, but I'll just try to make, I won't be able to get I won't be able to get this size out of that one, but I can get this size out of that one. Yes, probably. Yeah. This one's just too small. It'll be a little bitty one. This one will be a little bitty compared to that one. All right, yeah, I got to finish on the next segment after I charge my phone. All right, that's it for now. There you go.